today I'm doing a video about how to write a query, because if you haven't seen my Writer Problems Wednesday video, the last one is how not to write a query. So if you've seen that video, don't do anything in that video. I'm telling you. Seriously, don't. The whole video was sarcasm. You should never do any of those things. If you do those things, I'm really sorry and I did not mean to offend you. But if you want the best results, follow this video because I'm going to tell you how to really do a query, because I didn't want to mislead you guys and I want to help you and I want to be helpful. So that is why I'm doing this video about query letters. Last week's question must have been, where do you get your inspiration from, where, who, or something along those lines. At Edwina the Writer says, Cassandra Clare is my inspiration. The way she writes inspires me so much and it motivates me to become a better writer. Thank you so much, Edwina. Yes, it's beautiful. I love Cassandra Clare. If you haven't read her books, other people, because obviously Edwina has, but if you haven't, you should. I'm talking to you. Yes, you know who I'm talking about.
No, the one on the left.
No, that one, right there.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're gonna lead a mundane life.
My life is mundane.
See what I did there? Did you get it? You
Yeah.
kind of read the first one.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I just got it. Oh gosh. Okay, that was a late reaction to what was going on here. Keep going.
Let us move on. Yeah?
Okay.
Alright. This week's question, then, will be, do you have any advice to give to people who are querying for the first time? Here's a better shot of the Writer Digest Writer's Market book. So this is the guide to literary agents. If you want an agent, I highly recommend getting this book. There's a couple other ones. So this one is the Novel and Short Story Writer's Market. So this is geared to, obviously, novels and short stories. What's so cool about these books is, one, they tell you how to write a query, they tell you how to write a synopsis, they give you examples of good queries. So in this, okay, so anyway, these are awesome books, especially the literary agent ones, because they literally have every literary agent and agency listed in these books. And so what you'll see, for example, page, so they have like, well, you can't see it at all. Okay, so they have the name of the agency, the agent's names, they have like key facts, so like maybe something that the agent has actually said and they'll quote it. They have the genres, which is super important. That's where you want to start. Like, you obviously don't want to pitch to an agent that doesn't have your genre, because that's just wasting everybody's time, okay?
Trying to convince vegetarian meat, not gonna work.
It's not gonna happen. I would know. It tells you how to contact them, and it tells you how long it takes. So like this one is 3 to 4 weeks, and I think that's pretty normal. Well, actually 4 to 6 weeks is pretty normal. 8 weeks is normal too, but on the longer side of normal. And if they're like, oh, we'll get back to you in a week, that's super fast. And it says their terms, so they accept 15%, 20% like foreign, for example. And then sometimes they give you tips. So this tip is, please include a short author bio, even if you have no literary background, and a brief synopsis of the project. So anyway, that's why this book is super cool, because it has all these really cool things, and I'm going to keep hitting Kelly in the face until she understands she needs to buy a copy of this book.
I'm not ready yet, though.
You will be. You will
I will
be.
be.
Just pre-order the 2015.
That is a lot
in
of
9
pressure.
months. I know that was like a super fast version of what this book is about.
Crash course.
Yeah. And I probably skipped over some terms I should have defined. Oh, it also has their address and phone number and email, which is the important thing. Oh, and their website. Have their website, which is even more important. That way you can like scope them out. Okay, that's another thing. Let me just say this. Before you even query, what you should do is you should find an agent, and you can do this by searching online. You could do it by this awesome book. Or you can do it, I suppose, by asking around if anybody really knows any agents. Or something that I like to do also is I like to stalk my favorite authors and find out which agents they have, because that would be super cool if we had the same agent, and then I could be like, hey, what's up with that guy? We should have like a meetup and a conference and a book signing tour gig. So anyway, you find your agent and you research them and look at every single interview they've ever done, because you want to get to know this agent, okay? You want to be really buddy-buddy with this guy because you want to show that you've done your research. Okay, So now that I've said all that, one way to start a query, well, obviously you put the like dear insert agent's name here and make sure it's like Mr. or Mrs. last name. Don't be casual with them because they could be your boss. And then you want a good opening line. So, okay, you can go into the query two ways after you say dear agent's name. You can either go straight into the pitch, which is your book, straight into a little mini synopsis of your book. Try to keep it to one paragraph. If you have to, two, but try to keep it to one good length paragraph. So, okay, you can either go that way and go straight into your summary, your book summary, or you can try to think of a really nice hook and be like witty about it, or you know, whatever. It really sets the tone to your query and your book and all that fun stuff. And that's another important thing about query letters is you want to have a good tone, you want to have a great voice, and you want to really show characterization. You don't want this query letter to fall flat, you know? You don't want that. None of that. It's terrible. Because you want the agent to be entertained and to be like, whoa, this guy has an amazing voice. I can like hear him coming off the page and I want to meet this guy or gal. Or there's a third option, you can start it. You can start it by association. Now that we've established how to start the query letter and what you should do before you start, this awesome do and don't list right here, I don't know if you can see it, I'm sorry if you can't, you probably can't, I'm going to read it out to you right now. So the do's: keep the tone professional, query a specific agent at a specific agency, proofread, be sure to proofread, keep the query concise, no more than one page, seriously. No more than one page. And okay, another important thing, you really want to make sure to go to the agent website, check out their submission guidelines. That's what I was thinking of. It's very important. Some agents want you to put query in the subject. Actually, every query I've ever sent out wants you to put query in the subject, and then usually your book title. However, every agency is different, so be sure you follow their guidelines because, like I said, every agency is different. So follow the guidelines first and foremost. Okay, we can move on. Another do: focus on the plot, not your bio. And we'll dive into the bio in a minute. Pitch agents who represent the type of material you write. So again, that's going with like genre or fiction, nonfiction, children's books, etc. Check the agency's submission guidelines. What do you know? And keep pitching despite rejections. Okay, the don't list is a lot longer.
Include personal info not directly related to the book. Mention that this is your first novel or worse, the first thing you've ever written aside from grocery lists.
Don't do that. Don't do that, because then that really makes you look like an amateur. And you're trying to pitch to a professional, you're trying to become a professional, and you should not undermine your own awesome talent.
You guys are awesome.
It is very true.
State that your book has been edited by peers or professionals.
Don't do that. No, no. Because, okay.
So I can't tell them that you edited my book?
No way. Don't ever mention that. Because the reason why you don't do that is because the agent already assumes you've done that because you're giving them a really nice revised product. They're not assuming that you haven't proofread it, basically, if that makes any sense. And I hope it does.
Bring up screenplays or film adaptations. You're querying an agent about publishing a book, not making a movie.
That's pretty self-explanatory.
Mention any previous rejections.
Yeah, don't do that.
It's like in dating too. You don't mention how many people you got rejected from.
I've had 100 boyfriends and I'm still not married.
Oh gosh, okay. Say that the story is copyrighted with the U.S. Copyright Office or that you own all rights. Of course you own all rights. You wrote it.
Is that what it says, or did
Yes.
you? Okay. Yeah.
Did it sound like I said that?
I don't know. You closed the book, so I wasn't sure.
Sorry.
But yes, certainly, the moment you put pen to paper, it's yours. Therefore, you don't need to go out and buy copyrights, and you certainly don't need to mention it to an agent who is more than willing to help you with that aspect.
Rave about how much your family and friends love it.
Don't do that.
What matters is that the agent loves it. Send flowers, baked goods, or anything else except a self-addressed stamped envelope.
I think the majority of people usually email now, or prefer email. I think a couple still accept, you know, normal querying and stuff like that, so that's cool if they do. Again, submission guidelines. And yeah, don't send them
one more.
I know, don't send them any flowers or anything.
The last one is the follow-up with a phone call.
Now that you sent your query, what you want to do, and make sure you do this every day, is to call them and make sure they got it. Don't call them ever. Don't call. I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times if you just don't hear back from them after 6 weeks, it's just not gonna happen. You move on, and so goes life. And don't ever give up is another don't. Okay. Any awards or contests you've won, you can put that in there in the bio section. If you have a MFA, for example, an MFA in creative writing, I want one. That would be cool. Mm-hmm. You can put that in there. If you have anything less than an MFA, like a bachelor's or an associate's degree, don't bother putting it in the bio section of your query letter. Because nobody cares, unfortunately. Well, nobody in the agent community really cares, because the only thing that looks good is an MFA, unfortunately, for us. People who have AAs. I have 2 of them. Doesn't matter. Leave it out of the query. They don't care. They hate me. So
pen and paper.
Now I'm going to actually give you guys an example. And like I said, they have sample queries in this book that you should buy. I really, if you're really serious about writing and you're gonna pitch to an agent, I think this is the best book you can get. I really do. Because it has everything in here. I wouldn't recommend another book, honestly. Your go-to guide.
Dear X, Y, and Z, I would like you to represent my 65,000 word contemporary teen novel and my big nose and other natural disasters.
Make sure to include word count. Don't ever put, I have, 23 chapters or 640 pages. No, you need an actual word count, and if you don't have one, you need to figure that out.
17-year-old Jory Michaels wakes up on the first day of summer vacation with her same old big nose, no passion in her life, in a creative sense of the word, and all signs still pointing to her dying a virgin. Plus, her mother is busy roasting a chicken for day number 6 of the dinner for breakfast diet.
Okay, so here we have, they jumped right into the pitch, basically. So a little summary. And their summary consists of 2 paragraphs. But you see right away it says 17-year-old Jory Michaels. So right now they've introduced who the character is and how old they are, which is really good, and you want to do that. I think somewhere in here it will eventually say the genre, which is young adult.
In spite of her driving record, it was an accident. Jory gets a job delivering flowers and cakes to Reno's casinos and wedding chapels.
So in that sentence, I'm just to interject right in there and interrupt you. You can see it says, in spite of her driving record, in parentheses, it was an accident, exclamation point. That shows characterization from Jory's point of view. That's the kid's name. And it also sets a tone of this novel that they're pitching, which is really good.
She also comes up with a new summer goal, saving for a life-altering nose job. She and her new nose will attract a fabulous boyfriend. Nothing like the shameless flirt Tyler Briggs or Tom, who's always nice but never calls. Maybe she'll find someone kind like a Gideon at the Jewel Cafe, except better looking and not so quite different.
Going back to characterization, it shows the internal conflict this character has with her looks and everything and what she wants, and so again, bringing up conflict obviously is a really good thing to put into your bio. You want the reader to keep reading and you want to know why we should care, and you want to know the conflict, like oh, this character's perfect, that's nice, but I want to know why these characters should suffer.
Jory survives various summer disasters, like doing yoga after sampling mom's cabbage soup diet, enforced mother bonding with crazy nose-obsessed daughter night, and discovering Tyler's big secret. He's got a secret.
He's got a secret. Oh my god, this is getting good.
But will she learn to accept herself and maybe even find her passion in creative and romantic sense of the word?
I don't know. Will she? See?
I'm intrigued.
That's a good part of the bio, is kind of leaving the reader hanging. You want to allude to what's gonna happen, but you don't want to give it all away. You want to really walk the person who's reading your query letter through some main plot points, but you don't want to give the ending away.
I have written for Apple Seeds, Confetti, Hopscotch, Story Friends, We Once Magazine, The Dessert News, Children's Playmate, and Blooming Trees Press Summer Shorts Anthology. I won the Utah Art Council Prize for Not a Dr. Logan's Divorce Book. My novel, Jungle Crossing and Going Native, each won first prize in a League of Utah Writers contest. I currently serve as an SCBWI Regional Advisor.
Okay, so in the first sentence we've got She's written for those magazines. I assume they're all magazines, if they're
An
not.
anthology.
We've got, she won some contests that she mentioned. So this paragraph specifically is her credentials. And then she has 2 novels that she mentioned that are already published and won prizes. Mm-hmm. And then she mentioned she's a SCBWI regional advisor, which I don't remember what it stands for, but it has to do with children's books. I'm fairly certain.
Yep, moving on. I submitted my big nose and other natural disasters to Krista Mariano at Delacorte because she is requesting it during our critique at the summer SCBWI conference. No response yet.
Okay. So that basically is another thing. If you're not submitting to an agent exclusively, sometimes, and you have to look on their submission guidelines, sometimes they, actually it's, they won't ever say this on their thing, but it's like common courtesy to just mention, hey, I've sent it out to this person, and there's no response yet, basically, kind of thing.
Thank you for your time and attention. I look forward to hearing from you. Sincerely, Sydney Salter Hussman.
Be sure to thank them for taking the time to read your query. That's really nice of them.
Manners, really.
Anyway, I'm pretty sure I covered kind of very chaotically all the basis of writing a good query letter. If you want to know what not to do, which is the most important things, go watch my How Not to Write a Query Letter Writer Problem Wednesdays video. I'll link it in the description below. Pretty sure I covered everything. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down there. Comment. And I will get back to you. And I am more than happy to help. You can find me on Twitter here. You can find her on Twitter her. And we will be on Twitter together. All the time because we're friends and we like each other. Do you have any questions? Because I went through really fast. So if you have questions, other people have questions. And I will answer them right now. So, yeah.
Something I have not encountered yet.
Well, you're not at that stage yet, but you will be. And when you are, I'll be here to help you and all that fun stuff.
So when querying to an agent, you want to have a complete manuscript, right?
Yes. Well, okay, no. So, okay. Ideally, yes. Sometimes, however, okay. I was quick to say yes to that because that is certainly ideal. Most agents want a very completed manuscript, and they expect it to be not only completed but proofread and revised and all that fun stuff. There are certain exceptions to the rule though. If, say, you're in the right place at the right time and somebody's like, hey, your book sounds awesome, I'd like to take you on as my client, then, you know, there's always exceptions to the rules, but I would go with yes.
Any other questions? Nothing comes to mind besides legalities and stuff.
Legalities, like?
How to maneuver or, I guess, handle an acceptance letter and all that good stuff in between, like how many books are going to be published, how, like, format and stuff.
Yes.
All the stuff that happens after you got accepted.
In which case the agent would definitely keep you posted and let you know. What usually happens, if an agent is interested in your query letter, they will write back to you and say, oh, I really enjoyed the first 10 pages of your manuscript, send me the whole thing. Then you send your whole manuscript. Yeah. And then you wait, usually I think it's 8 to 12 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
For them to get back to you is the normal range. And if they like your whole manuscript, they might say, oh, this is awesome, let's sign you up. You get out a contract and you figure that out. They'll come up with like, oh, a 3-book deal or 1-book deal or whatever the situation may be. Or they can also say something along the lines of, you know, I really liked your manuscript, but how you keep shifting into your male protagonist's point of view versus your female protagonist, I think I prefer just the females. Would you be willing to just change that? And they might agree as long as you change that kind of aspect of your book to sign you on. Now, we're reversed because we're awesome.
It happens.
And also because my battery died for a minute and yeah. Anyway, before it dies again, because I only charged it for approximately 4 minutes.
I think 2.
Probably 2. I was in the middle of saying, your work is not done after you finish and complete your manuscript. No, it is the furthest thing from that, because when you apply to an agent and then they give it to an editor, or even the agent might help you edit it too, and they might say you need to change a bunch of things and you have a lot more work to do. You probably have even more work to do after you submit to an agent and get accepted from an agent than like originally writing it. It just is what it is. Okay,
Wow.
I think that's the end of that vlog. Let's
Yeah, I have no more questions.
let's high five. This is a long vlog and we're hungry. So that is that, and this is this, and my name is Nicole Michelle. This is at KL Neary, aka Kelly. Until next time, ride on!